Let's take a look at the assignment now for B2, which is also our visual for B2. And we're going to be taking this information about digital audio file formats and constructing a table out of this information. Now, the first goal of this assignment is to begin to learn and understand these file formats a little bit, these different extensions that we might see on the end of files, and understanding how they work with our digital devices. But also we're going to look at some strategies and tactics for taking information and reorganizing them and making them a little bit easier to understand by putting them into a table. Now, the first thing we want to consider here, guys, is the type of information we have. Now, as I look at the list here, there are 6 different audio or digital audio formats that we have here for digital files. Okay, they're all listed here, and then there's kind of the explanation of what those initial or common names are about, or what they mean rather, and then also there's a definition kind of explaining this audio format. So you have the common initial name, then you have what those initials stand for, and then a description here. So we have 3 different types of information for each digital audio file format. And then we also have 6 of them total. Okay. Now that's important to note because we need to figure out when we make a table how to design the table. How many different boxes, or what we like to call cells, do we need for that? Okay. So we know we have 6 different items we're talking about and 3 pieces of information for each. So I'm going to go over now to my B2 ICANN slide that I've already created. And I'm going to create a table. Now to create a table, we go up here to there's a menu called Table. You can click on this. And there's lots of different controls here. We're not really worried about those right now. We're just going to insert a table. Now what we can do here is we can tell it how many different boxes or cells do we want in that table. Now let's think about the layout here just for a second. So across the top, don't forget, we are going to put those 3 types of information that we have for each digital audio file format. Okay, so we have 3. So we're going to go 3 across. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and delete that. I didn't want to stop yet. Okay, so let me try that again. 3 across, and then we're going to go. Remember, we talked about that we have 6 different file formats. However, we need to put in 1 more row of cells because we need the header at the top of those to explain what they are. So we're going to go 3 across, so 3 columns of cells, and then 7 rows of cells. All right, so we want to go 3 by 7 as it appears here. So go ahead and do that. Now again, just to have some common terms here and understanding, okay, when we talk about these boxes up and down, now each box, again, we call it a cell. And the up and down organization of cells we call columns. So we have 3 columns. And then the across organization of boxes or cells we call rows. So we have 3 by 7 here right now. Okay. Now the first thing we're going to do is kind of format the lines of these cells. Okay. Now I can make this bigger. Okay. And because I'm going to want to make it bigger. All right. Because I got to fit everything in here. But what I can do, guys, is I'm in a selection right now where I have the whole table selected. When I'm in that form, I can format it like I would any shape or line or even text that I have on my screen. I'm going to go up here to line color, and one of the requirements for your assignment here is to change the line color. I'm going to go with something a little bold here. There's yellow. I can change the line thickness of all my lines. So I'm going to go to 3 here just to kind of make them set out. All right, so those controls are up here. Now, don't forget, you got to have it selected first before you do that. Okay. Now, the other thing I can do, all right, is I can select individual lines if I want, okay, to change them individually. Okay. Now, sometimes it gets a little tricky here, but if I want to select this whole line, okay, I can do that. Like I said, it gets a little tricky. But let's say I wanted to make the whole side of it a certain thickness here. Okay. I'm now holding down Shift to do this, but I can select these, okay, and I can make them a certain, maybe I want to make them a little thicker on the outside. I want to go 8 point on the outside, okay. All right, So I can select individual lines within the table to do that too, okay? Or I can select the whole table to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly just select these sides, okay? And then make them a little bit bigger, okay, a little bit thicker, so that the outside borders. I'm holding down Shift as I do this, don't forget, because it allows me to select more than one item, okay? So I'm clicking, and then I can go up to here, and I can go ahead and make that thicker, okay? Here's what I'd like you to try to do right now. Maybe it's a good time to stop the film, but go ahead and make that table, all right, 3 by 7 like I showed you, if you haven't already done so. And then let's go ahead and take a few moments to you know, change the color and the line size. Now, you don't have to get as fancy as I did. If you want to, great. But at least change the color and at least change the line size from 1, or the line weight rather, from 1 to something thicker. You can do it for the whole table. You don't have to do it get as fancy as I did. But take a moment and do that right now. Stop your film, or stop your tutorial rather, and give that a try. Okay, we're going to continue now because now we want to get to the point where we're putting in data. Okay, before we put in the data though for the different file formats, let's put in our headers, what we call our headers. Now before I get to that, one thing you'll notice here, if I double click in a cell, you can kind of see that blinking cursor there, but it's hard to see because the text is black. So I'm going to select my whole table, and by selecting the whole table, whatever I choose here will apply to all of them. I'm going to put in a text color of white here now. So when I type, it's white. And you know how I like Comic Sans, MS. Actually, I'm going to go Times New Roman for this because it's a smaller font. So I'm going to select that. So now every time I type something, it's going to be white and then Times New Roman. Now I have different categories here. I can go to my instructions here and get those category names for my columns. It says, notice each one listed gives its common name abbreviation, its full name, and a brief description. Okay? So I'm going to use those for my headings: common name abbreviation, full name, and brief description. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to type in common name abbreviation. Now if you want to copy and paste, you can. Okay, full name, and then brief description. Okay. Put those at the top. Now I kind of want those to stand out, so what I might do is I might highlight these 3. I notice I can click and drag and highlight each 3. Make this a little bit bigger. It's set to 14 right now. Maybe I want to go to 18. Okay, and I can do spacing just like I do with text boxes and that sort of thing. I can put it in the middle. Maybe I want to make them bold, make them underline. Okay, something to that effect. Okay, something like that. Now what I can also do is I can change the size of certain cells, or at least the row of cells. I'm going to move this up a little bit to give me some more room in some of the other cells. Okay, I can also put the names in the middle. You know, again with spacing, I can go and click over here and kind of drag over. All right, I can do more spacing technique where maybe I want them in the middle more. All right, now that looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead to my first one, and again I can use copy and paste here if I want. I'm going to go ahead and copy. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and paste. Now we have to be careful here because when I paste, yeah, it kind of gives me that look there. So I may have to go back and reformat these. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and do some copying here real quick. All right, and then copy here and click. Now what I need to do here, I know you hear the bell in the background there, I'm going to go ahead and highlight these now, and I want to change them to what I want them to be like the rest of the table. Okay, so Times New Roman, got to change my color, my text color to white. I'm also going to turn that highlight off, so I'm going to go to highlight, go to transparent. Okay, oops, I don't have them selected. I got to go back and do it again, sorry. Okay, turn off highlight. Okay, now go up here to text color and make it white so they show up. All right, now I'm getting better here. Now I'm going to go to 14, and I have my information there. Okay, so kind of play around with these a little bit. You know, you need to do this for all 6 of them now. Now, if you don't want to have to do all that reformatting and stuff, just go ahead and you know, retype them in. All the information's on the B2 webpage. Okay, but we need to put them in for all of these. Okay, just go ahead and Put them all in there. You'll have 6 total, don't forget, and then your table will be finished. When you finish your table, go ahead and turn it in to the B2 assignment.